morning and welcome to our introductory video on lift. I just wanted to go through a few features and benefits of the Timexpert lift range. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Tess Walls. I'm actually the director of Germaine Cappuccini Australia, and I'm extremely passionate about passing on my knowledge as a beauty therapist, as I love talking about Germaine Cappuccini. So today we're actually going to talk about lift, and we're going to go through the features and benefits. There's only 4 products in lift. But before we do so, I just wanted to go over a little bit of information about how we identify whether you need lift or not. We find it quite easy to identify if we have wrinkles. Obviously that's an easy one. You can look in the mirror, you can see, do you have wrinkles? Yes or no. But lift can be a little bit more complicated. So with lift, if you imagine that the face starts to actually move out and almost down ways as we age, if you're a client that is lacking in elasticity. So if you'll start to see things like lack of elasticity on the eyelid, so if you can lift your brow up like this, as you can see me, I'm more of a lifting client. So if you can actually lift your finger up underneath your eyebrow, that's showing a lack of elasticity. Another thing that you can look for is if you pull the sides of your face up, and it actually dominantly makes a difference to these lines here. That can identify that we have a problem with lift. So you can probably see if I put my pull up here, it can change this one here. Another thing you can do is actually pull the skin up above your eyebrows. Does it actually make the face look more rejuvenated? If you pop your hair in a towel, if you pull your hair back in a ponytail, does it affect the actual, does your skin look more youthful? So those are the things that we do to identify if we're a lifting client or not. So why do we get lack of elasticity? Well, basically with wrinkles, it's a little bit like the underneath of our skin. Somebody's poked holes. Imagine if you had a styrofoam ball and somebody poked holes in those styrofoam balls, and your skin that sits on the surface of that ball would basically start falling down into those holes. Lifting is a little bit like our sphere or our styrofoam is starting to shrivel down. It's smaller, so that the layer that sits on top basically becomes all floppy, and so then we get additional skin. So how we're going to treat that is with our Timexpert lift, and our first product that I want to talk to you about today is our Vector Lift serum. So Vector Lift is our absolute, I think it's honestly one of the best serums that Germaine Cappuccini has made. It's high in the key ingredient which runs through lift, so we won't be repeating this over and over. Key ingredient that runs through lift is called V-matrix, and V-matrix is about improving that quality of the styrofoam ball that we spoke about. So we're almost making that styrofoam ball a little bit more dense or larger in size, and so then therefore our skin that sits on the surface, or our fabric that we spoke about before, basically starts to more evenly sit over that surface. So V-matrix will work on the horizontal and vertical fibers of the skin to strengthen that and make our dermal layer a lot more densified, and it in turn will help push the surface of the skin back up, which will also help to iron out fine lines and wrinkles. Our next key ingredient is calcium and glucose, and calcium and glucose is actually found again in all of the Timexpert lift products. The calcium and glucose actually floods that layer of the skin with that calcium and glucose ingredient, which will feed what we call low molecular weight hyaluronic acid. So low molecular weight is a moisture binding ingredient that literally sits. Imagine all the little bubbles that make up the styrofoam. It literally sits inside each one of those little bubbles. So it helps to swell those bubbles up and will in turn push that lower level of the skin, which we call the dermal layer or the extracellular matrix. It will plump that back up again, and this helps to increase firmness and fight fine lines and wrinkles. So very important. The ingredient that is unique to Vector Lift, so it's got those 2 ingredients that we discussed, but it also contains lentil extract. So the lentil extract helps to work on those clients that have aging opened pores. So we're not talking about active oil, we're talking about aging skin that actually has visible open pores. It will help to basically reduce the size of the pores by increasing the elasticity in the surrounding circumference of the pore. So the pores will look much smaller, which in turn the skin will look even, and the skin will be a lot more plump and full. So it will start to actually reduce these lines. When you're applying it with all the lift, make sure you apply out and up. So nice upward movements, outward movements, and then even continuing up on the forehead so that you're actually working, you know, from those eyebrows going up towards the hairline. So up and out. Take the time to do that. It's well worth it. You don't need to use very much. It actually comes with a little pump, automatic dropper. So it will actually absorb the product, draw the product up. You can see as I close it, it basically draws the product, goes down and sucks it up into the little pipette. So then what we need to do is we just take a couple of drops. It's quite a light serum, and we massage then that directly into the skin. And that's the first thing to go on before our treatment cream or our eye cream. So our next product that we're actually going to talk about is our Vector Lift cream. So this is it here. How we use it, again, it's got that V matrix, which we said before helps to actually redensify that sphere so that the skin will basically have more of a set surface to sit on, and will also help to plump the skin. So the cream you only need to use about the size of a pea, so very small amount with our Jamita Cappuccini product. It's literally about the size of the little ball on the end here. So then we would apply it directly onto the skin straight after Vector Lift, working up the chin towards the outer, towards the ear area, and then again up on the forehead. Okay, so what we are actually going to do next is our eye cream. Now this is perfect for those eyes that have a little bit of elasticity loss up on this area here under the brow. One key ingredient though, just to jump back, I'm terribly sorry, I actually missed your active ingredient that's in your cream. So Vector Lift, calcium and glucose, and it also contains alpha gel technology. So this will actually help to create a non-oily film that sits over the surface, locks in moisture, and instantly gives the skin a slight firming effect. So back onto our eye cream. Our eye cream actually comes with this little applicator here, which is perfect. So this one is designed so that after you apply about the size of a grain of rice of your eye cream, you make sure that you apply it directly to fine lines and wrinkles, and also making sure that you apply it just underneath the eyebrows here. You want to take it all the way around and gently pat it in. A lot of skincare companies tell you to make sure you apply it on the bone area. This is generally if they have quite a heavy oil base, and so they will work up into the eyes. But ours don't. They're nice and light, still protective, but you want to use them directly onto the wrinkles themselves. And we actually use the little applicator to massage. So if I was just to demonstrate with this, you can use the flat side to actually create drainage under the eye area like this. Make sure you lift off back onto the inner eye and then out like this, okay? If you're wanting to do a lifting effect, which is important, if like me, you've got this little bit of hooding starting to appear, then you can actually hold up onto the eye area like this. Couple of seconds, let go, then move, next area. Couple of seconds, let go, and then do the same here. And you can do that 3 or 4 times. It really helps to rejuvenate the eye area, and you really notice a huge difference. So, so much in fact that clients, we actually always do test studies. They generally pick between 60 and 100 people before products are released. With the eye cream, they actually saw an increased rejuvenation of the eye area of more than 90% after just 30 days use, and more than 77% increase in that lack of elasticity up here that's holding down over our eyes. So it really is fantastic for those clients, not only that are suffering from wrinkles, but also that lack of elasticity on the eye area. Now, key ingredient in there, it's called Bleoflex. So this basically helps to, again, work on that elasticity. So it works on the hoodedness and really helps to rejuvenate that eye. And genetically, you're either someone that will follow in the footsteps of wrinkles, or you're someone who will follow in the footsteps of lifting. And it's generally who you look like the most. So if you look like your dad, or you look like your mum, or maybe grandma, then however their skin is aging, generally you will start aging the same way. So the earlier you can get in, the better. The serum can be used by anyone that's, say, 25 years onwards, and with the care creams, generally around 30 years onwards for those. But lifting in the eye area, you can start working on that from your early to mid-20s. Another real essential cream where ladies tend to age, not only do we age on the back of the hands, but we also age on the décolletage and the neck area. So a lot of us will start to get, it's a horrible saying, but it's this little one here that looks a little bit like a turkey. So we call it the turkey neck, and you actually start to get a little bit of a fat pocket in that area. So this will help to rejuvenate that. So it's got your calcium, your glucose, your V matrix that are found in all of your lift, but it also has Edelweiss, okay? Edelweiss or Edelweiss. I'm showing my age here. Some of you might know it from The Sound of Music. That's how I remember. So the Edelweiss helps to rejuvenate. Make sure when you're applying it that you use it from the top of the bust all the way up in an upward movement. We don't want to be moving anything downways. Everything is about the upward movement with all applications of all of our products. So last but not least, I just wanted to talk about the quick key benefits, or more the percentages that you will actually see if you're using the products. So the first thing I would say is using a serum and a cream together, you're always going to get a much better benefit than just using a cream on its own. The reason being is the serum has a small molecular weight, so it will actually go much deeper, right down into that dermal layer, right down into the styrofoam that we were talking about before. So it's also a higher concentration of actives. So it's a smaller weight and higher concentration of actives. And I say it works from the bottom up. Your care cream will actually do the opposite. The care cream will penetrate the surface of the skin, or the epidermis as we like to call it, and it works from the top down. So using a serum and a cream together, you're actually going to get a much better benefit than just using a cream on its own. The percentages that we saw when using the serum and the cream at home, just in a 30-day period, we saw 86% increase in firmness. So a massive increase, really helped to soften these lines here and really pulled the face right up towards the ear and the hairline. With the eye area, I think I mentioned before, more than 90% rejuvenated eye and more than 77% increased lifting just on this area under the brow. And with the cream and the serum used together, more than 86% increase in firmness. So great results. And if you need any further information, you can always contact us here at the Australian head office, 1300 432 100. Our friendly staff can certainly help you out with any information. Or of course, if you are seeing a skin therapist, please go and chat to them. They will be able to give you a lot more information about the results that you can achieve with not only lifting, but really any skin condition that you do have. Until next time, all the best, and we hope to see you here for one of our training videos again. Thanks so much.